Alright, here we go again. Hello, people of Earth and all aligned species. I have had the day from hell, and yet it is not over. However, I took on the obligation, because I bought a frozen pie crust, to make a quiche today, and it's going to get made. I had a day like I haven't had for 2 years, since the fire. I had the phones ringing off the hook for a couple hours. Every time I hung up on one call, another one came in. The texts were rolling in as I was on the phone and trying to do other things. Texts were coming in one after another. I really got pissed off, aggravated, and snappy. I turned the phone off. Now, I'm talking to you guys on that phone, which is why I've got Jan Computer over there to help me with my recipe. I have made this before, but I do just want to have something as a guideline to make sure that I'm rolling in some way the correct way. So I'm going to be making a broccoli and cheese quiche today. It's actually tonight, it's 8:26. I've got a deep dish crust. Like I said, it's supposed to be frozen, so it's sitting in the refrigerator. I'm going to use it because I'm not sure if it's going to be usable tomorrow. And so the first thing is, and here's the first place where I start doing my own thing. I'm just wondering if I need to put these other lights on, because we'll give it a try this time. Hopefully that doesn't create that huge glare, that right there, but maybe it won't be so much. See? It's taking over like it did before. Alright, let's see if we can move it there and not have it. I really hate that. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to take a shortcut. It's asking me to, just 1 second. Where the hell does it say anything about the broccoli? Holy crap. Huh. It's got the ingredients that do have the broccoli in it, but nowhere in the instruction does it say that you should... Okay, I'm going over to recipe number 2 then. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing it wants me to do is it wants me to chop up some fresh broccoli, which I'm great on, but then it wants me to fry it in a pan with some butter until it gets soft. Now, I don't know about you guys, but lately when I've been doing that, it's been taking an awful long time. So what I've been doing is I've been putting it into my Instant Pot, just long enough to come to pressure, just for a minute. Just like literally enough time, and then the broccoli's soft. Then I saute it in the garlic and the butter just to grab the flavors, and it seems to save me a lot of time, because I've done broccoli a couple times this week just in the saucepan, and it is really, it's taken longer than they seem to intimate that it's taking, so that's the way I'm going to do it. Alright, give me 1 second, I'm going to go get the broccoli. Okay, well, you know what? I've decided that since I want to add some asparagus as well as some leeks to this, I'm actually going to do the broccoli the old-fashioned way, but I'm not going to make you guys sit around and wait while I fry it up till it's soft. We'll just do that for a little while, and then you'll come back and you'll see it. Alright, so just give me 1 second here. I'm going to chop up about 2.5 cups of broccoli. There we go. Let's get the chopping cam on. Chopping cam. So that should be, I would say, about 1 cup at least. I got to resharpen that knife again. I've been using it on everything, so believe me, I'm not unhappy with it. It's been very good. When I originally bought this purple knife, I got it from the secondhand store, and it sat in my drawer for 6 months because it was and it has a lot of brothers and sisters. I got a whole set of Cuisinart knives, which is what these are, ceramic coated. But anyway, yeah, I got a lot of them, but I didn't have a good way to sharpen them that I was happy with. And so it sat in my drawer for like 6 months, and then I got an electric sharpener. I actually tested it out a couple videos ago. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better. All right, that should do it. Yeah, I checked it out a couple of videos ago, and the MF works. It does. It sharpens the hell out of my stuff, which is great, because I have some good knives, and there are some knives that I have that maybe aren't so good, but I love them. And although a lot of them, as it turns out, I anticipated using them, a lot of them became display knives. I do want them sharp, you know, I do want them usable. Although basically I've been using kind of 2 knives almost exclusively for the last 6 months. You know, it's always the way. You have a million knives, and then you use 2 of them, you know, for almost everything. So it's this one, which is my Victorinox, and it's been this one, and then I guess also this one, which is a boning knife. Yeah, that's been in a lot of use. And this one I've only been using for the last couple weeks since it's been sharpened. So it's mostly the boning knife and the Victorinox. And the Victorinox, it's a good knife. It deserves to be used. It's one of those real good knives, like the type that have write-ups in the New York Times, that type of knife. Alright, that's probably even a little bit more broccoli than I'm going to need, but that's okay. I will just save some in a bag. I always need chopped up broccoli. And hell, I'm going to have a second pie crust. Maybe I'll make it. Yeah, this is more than I'm going to need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a bag now. One I just threw away. There's a spinach in it, wasn't good. No. Let's use a new one. Come on. Alright, so let's put away, all over the floor, of course, all over the floor. About, I would say about that much for later. It's still going to be a lot of broccoli. Okay, I think the first thing that I want to do is I want to fry up some onions in butter. I think that's going to be my first move because they're fast, and I might as well put some garlic in that as well, and then we'll get to the broccoli. All right, I'll be right back. Hang on. Well, I'll tell you. While you guys have been away, I've consulted a couple of the recipes that I've looked at for advisement, and it seems that most of them say that I should be doing the broccoli and the onions and whatever else I'm going to put in there all at once and in butter. Now, that's a hell of a lot of butter, only because, if I'm right, that broccoli takes quite a long time to soften up. I mean, it'll soften up more in the oven for sure, but I want to make sure it's soft enough before I put it in the oven. And I'm going to add some asparagus and leeks. That's enough. Okay, so I'm going to get out my new old Circulon high-low pan. And I'm going to clean this up so that it's all neat. I'll be right back. Now this recipe actually calls for the minced onion, the jarred stuff, which I'll be happy to give it, but I'm also going to give it just a couple of these peeled cloves that I like, because it really is so much fresher and realer than the mince it does. So I like to at least add a few of those into the jarred stuff. And I only use the jarred stuff with the oil now. A couple of videos ago, 2 videos ago, I had some of the stuff in water and it had been around for a while and it had lost every bit of garlic taste. The only thing you could taste was the citric acid, which isn't bad, but it's not garlic. So I've thrown away all my garlic and water and I am only using the garlic and oil, which has much less citric acid, if it has any. I don't know if it has any. I'm doing a shitty job of keeping this all on the table and in one place. I'm very tired, folks. I had a rough day. And it's late for me to be cooking, especially something so ambitious. Okay, that should be fine. Now we're going to put a spoon of jarred garlic in there, like it asked for. I've also chopped up some leek, which I've been using like a big spring onion lately, big green onion. And I put a couple of spears of asparagus in it. All right, I will be right back. Well, it had me preheat the oven before I even started. And I gotta tell you guys, man, that thing is throwing off a lot of heat. If I had known that it was going to take so long for me to get my prep work done, I probably would have turned it on later. But it's on now. Alright, I think this is the point where I'm just going to come back in a little while, and this stuff is going to be half done. I'll talk for a few minutes, I'll come back, it'll be all the way done. No need to make this into an hour-long saute session. Okay, we've got the vegetables made. Didn't take as long as I thought it would. I think I've been moving them around too much. Yeah, god damn it, these lights. I don't know what. Let's go over here and see if that helps. I'm standing like a full step away, and then I'll block them with my back. Anyway, I got to start scrambling up the eggs now and getting the rest of this stuff ready. So I'm going to go do that. We'll be there for you in a second. One thing I'm going to drop in there that this recipe doesn't call for, but a lot of them do, is just a touch of oregano and a touch of thyme. Now, if I didn't have over 250 bottles of spices in that cabinet over there, and I'm not kidding, it's over 250 bottles. Mark got a little crazy with the spices. I'd find some chives to put on right at the end. But, you know, you live, you learn. Okay, so we're going to put some of this thyme in. Oh, I've had this thing doesn't have a shaker, it's just got a wide open thing, and I made the mistake of dropping too much thyme in before. I'm not going to make that mistake again. There we go. I even put a little too much in my hand. Alright, let's see if I can get some oregano that isn't open, because that one is not open. Rosemary, garlic. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Alright. Well, I'm not going to have you guys sit here while I go through literally tons. I'm going to open my... Oh, hang on a second. I think I've got some right here. Some parsley and... some basil that I got to remember to use. Alright, we're going to open it. It's funny, so I have all those spices, and then I have that kit behind me that was given to me. It's right there on the wall. It's a McCormick Gourmet spice rack that had something like 15 or 16 spices in it. And because it's easy for me to find them in that rack, I tend to use it a lot because like I said, if I'm not smart enough to take out my ingredients before I start, which I usually am, then I have to go there because I'll know I'll find it in just a few minutes. Okay, so that's the thyme and the oregano in. What's that? Curry and... oh, that's still, okay. Alright, so we're going to get some eggs out and we're going to beat them up and I'll be there. Okay, before I start doing the eggs, I do want to get my vegetables into this crust and my cheese. Now wait, it's going to turn out that I didn't use enough vegetables after I saved all that shit because I didn't want to overwhelm it. I have a little problems with scale sometimes. You know what I'm saying, scale? Sometimes I put way too much, way too little. I'm a lot dyslexic. If you've lost jobs over a disability, you have it a lot, not a little. So sometimes when I've worked in parts departments where I had to find item numbers on shelves, like I really had problems. So, So I sometimes have problems with scale. Okay, nice buttery vegetables there. Now we're gonna put in the cheese, and I'm gonna do a mix of cheddar and pepper jack. The recipe I'm using actually calls for mozzarella, but that's okay. That recipe is just kind of a guideline to remind me of where I want to be and what I want to do. All right. Just to give me an idea of what things happen at what time. I've made this once before in a puff pastry, actually. But I'm fairly confident it's going to go even better inside an extra large pie crust. Okay, I think that's a lot of cheese. Alrighty, let's go get a bowl and start beating those eggs up. Now, I want a bigger bowl than I usually use, only because I need to mix in some other things with this that's not on that recipe, but that I'm going to use. So give me a second. I know where I've got a bigger bowl. Yeah, let's use this honker right here. Sound good? Sounds good to me too. Do-do-do-do-do. Let's do 4 eggs to start out with. Ooh, big eggs too. Last couple months I've been very lucky. My cousin has chickens and I've had a regular supply of her eggs until just recently. I guess the chickens, the hens aren't laying as much in the cold weather, which I could certainly understand. I certainly get much less active in the cold weather. I've never opened and had a rotten egg before, but I've heard it's so horrible that I never want it to happen. So I always give, anything looks weird on my eggs, I always give them a little quick smell test. Okay. Now let's beat these bad boys to a pulp. Let's move the eggs away because we're done with them. And I got 18 eggs today from Walmart too. I don't think I've ever bought more than a dozen in my life, personally, unless I was shopping for my family. Now that I'm alone, depressing, but I bought 18 eggs today. Maybe that's me being optimistic. Okay, so those are beaten pretty good. I'm going to give them a little bit more beating. And it says it wants, here's where I'm going to make a big change. It says it wants me to mix the egg and the milk. So this calls for, how much milk? One and a half cups. So this could use a better beating. Now this is the secret my wife taught me. I know it seems disgusting, but just work with me on this. It is delicious. You gotta try it at least one time. Got some whole milk here, and I'm looking for my mayo. There it is. I know what this sounds like. I'm telling you, I almost puked the first time I did it. I saw my wife do it. But honestly, it works. So I'm going to put about 1 cup of mayo in this. Let's say that. And I would say that. About a cup there. All right. And I'm going to put the half cup of whole milk like it says. Give this a good smell. Nothing worse than making a whole recipe. It happened to me once. I made an entire recipe. It was mashed potatoes. And I had been making them, and the last thing I did was stir in some milk or half and half to make it creamy. And I just put a touch in when the person next to me said, I think that's spoiled. And it was. And I thought, oh God, it was just literally a tiny touch. I was like, maybe you can't even smell. But as soon as I put it in my mouth, it was horrible. So you don't make that mistake more than once. Okay. So, we've got the mayo replacing the milk plus a half a cup of milk. And now it wants me to put in a tablespoon of melted butter. Okay? Give me 1 second. See, this is where I need a really tiny saute pan. Really, really tiny saute pan. But I know what I'm going to do. I got it. I know what I'm going to do. This is exactly what the microwave was made for. Exactly. So, I'm going to put in an eyeball of about a tablespoon of butter, maybe a little bit more. Really can't go wrong with butter, can you? No. All right, let's put that over there. We're gonna microwave this for, I would say, 30 seconds maybe. Cancel. Time 3, 0. Da 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 do the hustle, do the hustle, do. I figured out what I did wrong. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna fix it. I will be right back, folks. Okay, glad I had the brainwave. I just remembered as I was sitting there looking at that mixture that my wife, when she did it, she put the cup of mayonnaise in with the quiche and not in the egg mixture. So let's do that instead. Because it was looking a little weird there, I'll tell you. It was looking just a little bit odd for me, and I thought, something doesn't look right like that. Something just don't look right. And I had a brainwave, which is good, because then I'd have to pretend it was good when it really isn't. Okay, there's about the half cup of milk, maybe a touch more. There we go. And you want to make sure you use whole milk, if not half and half and shit like that, or cream. Definitely not low-fat milk in your quiche. Okay, put that together. Now we want to make sure that this is getting spread evenly and not clumping. So let me just move this in a steady melange with the ingredients. I know it sounds disgusting, it looks disgusting. Just trust me on this. Just trust me on this. And I definitely got it this time. This pie's so defrosted that I'm afraid I'm going to start scooping up pieces of the crust, and I already am. Okay, let's get this done. Alright. Alright. Okay. That's in there. Alright. Give me a second here. Alright, so we've got the eggs in. I think we're ready to bake right now. There's so much fucking graphics on this. Right, so it wants me to add the melted butter, which I should have done before, but okay. No sin. Pour egg mixture over vegetables. Step 6, bake in preheated oven in center of the quiche is set about 40 to 50 minutes. We are there. I will come back to you people when this is done. And I'll take a little time to clean up a little bit. Alright, so you'll see it when it's done. I'll be right back. Alright, it's time to take this bad boy out and see where we are. Dun 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 dun. Oh my, oh my. Does that look pretty? Bubbling. Crust looks gorgeous. The cheese is baked in there just perfectly. Let's see. Oh yeah. Nothing on this. I'm going to call this a win. Guys, it's going to take a while for this thing to settle down enough and set for me to eat. May even have to sit in the fridge for a little while to cool down. But I'm calling this a win. You take a look at that and you tell me that this thing filled with cheese and onions and broccoli is not a win. It's a win. You know it is. Alright. Excellent video. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment. Just do something. Just so I know you're there or whatever. Yeah, awesome. And I'm going to call this a win. I mean, I could put you on pause and then we could wait like, I don't know, half an hour for this is cool enough for me to try. But even if it tasted like shit, I'd lie to you and tell it tasted great. So it doesn't matter. We should end the video now, right? Looks good. Thank you for watching. See you guys soon. Take care.